Yeah, hello. Todd Dunn here on December 12th, 2024. What I want to do today is give you an update on my total knee replacement that I had done on my right knee back on February 28th, 2023. So 21 and a half months ago. So how am I doing? Is my knee 110%? No, it isn't. I still have significant discomfort, some people might call it pain, in my knee, and but that said, it doesn't keep me from doing things that I need to do. For example, last month I was working on my sailboat, and as part of that, I spent about 8 hours kneeling over 4 sessions. And those were 2 hours continuous in each session. So I was, on my knees for 2 hours at a time working on the boat. And so I can do that sort of stuff. Now, my knee hurt pretty much after I did that, but I can do it. And last weekend, I went for a 2.5-mile walk in Acadia National Park, including climbing up about 500 feet and in the snow. And didn't have any issues at all, except that my knee ached a little after I got finished. But it still hurts. And what I'm going to do is set the camera up and show you where it still hurts. I don't know why it still hurts. There are things I can do to minimize it, and I guess I'll tell you what those are now before we take a look at it. I have some anesthetic patches that I put on my knee that help a little. And I also, because those are adhesive, but they tend to, as you walk for a while, movement of my trousers tends to work them off. So I put an ACE bandage, elastic bandage type wrap on them, not tight, just loose to keep the abrasion from my trousers from peeling the adhesive patch off. And I also tend, when I'm going to go someplace and I know I'm going to be on my feet for several hours, I'll take a couple of pills. I will take an acetaminophen, a 500 milligram, and a 200 milligram ibuprofen. Aspirin also works pretty well, but I tend not to take it for other reasons. But anyway, if I do that, I can be out on my feet all day without, the discomfort being a real problem. Of course, it varies from day to day. Today is actually one of the relatively bad days. Right now I'm sitting on a sofa. My knee is bent a little over 90 degrees, and, it hurts a little bit. Mostly I can feel strain on it. So let me move the camera and we'll take a look at my knee and see where the issues are. Before I do that, I should say I can bend my knee without any problem. 125 to 130 degrees, I can accomplish that. Now, admittedly, I need to work up to that. If I just went out and bent my knee right now, I probably wouldn't get much past 120. But if I worked at it a little bit for a couple days, did a lot of bending exercises, I can get back up to a 130. Of course, I can straighten my leg fully. I've always been able to do that. And I don't have any strength issues. I walk up and down the stairs in my house. That thing in particular. 10 times a day. And altogether, we have 28 stairs in the house. So, if I go up and down 10 times a day, that's 280 steps up and 280 steps down. So that's a pretty good stair workout, although it's spread out over the day, so I don't really feel it. But I can do it, no problem. I go up and down the stairs completely normally. Anyway, I'm going to go set the camera up and we'll take a look at my knee and I'll show you where the issues are and what is going on with it. Okay, I've got the camera on the stairs next to me. I have my foot stepped up on the first step, and I can bend my knee. This is the surgical leg. No problem. Where is the issue? Well, most of it is right here on the side of the knee and up into the muscle just above the knee. And this area gets very tight feeling, and this is what hurts when I walk for a while. And also I have some pain associated right over the top of the knee into the kneecap, which I think is probably the attachment of the kneecap down like this. And that when I bend the knee, I feel quite a bit of pressure here, and that causes my knee to hurt there. The joint itself feels fine. It's just the muscles and tendons along the outside of the knee, particularly up into the thigh above it. If I go for a long walk, the quadriceps muscle gets pretty sore and isn't happy. Relative to my left leg, the quadriceps in my right leg is not very strong comparatively. It's adequately strong. Right now I have an obligation. Here it is. This is Blackie, and he wants me to pet him. So anyway, that's where I am with my knee. I can sleep fine. I slept through last night without any trouble, except that it was really, really windy last night, and the wind did keep me awake until about 1 o'clock when it finally dropped off. But other than that, my knee doesn't keep me awake. It is a little uncomfortable in some positions, but I can sleep in any position with it. The only issue I have sleeping is that if I tend to end up flat on my back when I sleep. And if I do that, about 2/3 of the time, my leg will hyperextend. In other words, it will go completely straight and then a little bit past. And if I sleep like that, when I wake up, it's really painful to bend my knee. Now, this isn't just the surgical knee. The other leg does the same thing, and it can be really uncomfortable after when I wake up after sleeping for several hours on my back, to bend my knees the first time. And so what I've taken to doing is I put a pillow in so that it is under my upper thighs and ends just about at my knees, so that my legs are bent a little bit while I sleep. Bent maybe 5 or 7 degrees, and that keeps me from hyperextending, and makes so I never have my leg saying, "Don't bend me," when I wake up. And it's kind of a pain because, of course, the pillow gets moved around in the bed at night, but it's worth it to prevent the hyperextension problem, which I don't think has anything to do with the surgery, because, as I said, it happens in my left leg as well. So anyway, that's kind of where I am right now, 21.5 months out. My next appointment with the surgeon is something like March 5th. So that's about a little over 2.5 months from now. I have thought about going in to see him sooner, but I just haven't done it, because although I still have considerable discomfort with my leg, and in a lot of respects it hurts more now than it did before the surgery, which is not good, but what can I do about it? I do not want to have another surgery. And I would accept some steroid injections or something like that. But I'll talk to him about that when I go in March. The other thing that I've just done recently is where I live here on Mount Desert Island, Maine. It's about an 1.5-hour drive round trip to the nearest place I can buy a pair of shoes. and they don't have the world's greatest selection. So I tend to wear my shoes until they literally are falling apart. And one of the things that I noticed a few weeks ago is that my shoes had gotten worn so that the soles were worn quite dramatically on the outside of the sole, and that was resulting in my foot being tilted out, which puts pressure on my knee, wants to bend my knee to the side. And I finally broke down and ordered a new pair of shoes online. I know I ordered what I had, which were very comfortable, and I could get the same size online. So I knew the shoes were going to fit. And now for the last week and a half, I've had new shoes where my foot sits flat on the ground. And that had an effect. I think at least part of the issue with my leg has been that over the last 21 months, the shoes I've been wearing have been gradually wearing down on the outside of the sole, which has meant that instead of my foot sitting flat, if the left side of my hand here, this side of my hand, is the outside, my foot has gradually been tilted like that. And that puts pressure on my knee. And now with the shoes that don't do that, I notice that my leg feels a little bit better. Of course, my leg has gotten used to having the pressure from the worn shoes, so I'm giving it a few weeks to see if shoes that aren't worn really are a big factor. And that's one of the reasons I decided not to make an earlier appointment with the surgeon. I want to make sure that this isn't a self-inflicted problem by me not buying new shoes when I needed them. Anyway, that's where I am today on the 12th of December, 2024. And I'll just have to see if Blackie needs some more pets. Let's see. Oh yeah, he always needs pets. So that's where I am today, and hopefully when I see the surgeon, he'll have some ideas about how to deal with the muscle and tendon pain that I'm having. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you found this little update interesting.